in case anybody else wants to edit a script, if you just trade single drops, your life would be very simple. You could have a buy stop and a buy limit. You can have a sell stop and a sell limit. 4 tickets. You don't have to trade the market unless you're in front of your screen and you think you can do it, right? But do not risk your whole account on that one trade. Now, here is how you edit the script. These are single drops. It says right here, stop loss. I think we all know what that means. Set this to 5. I'll attempt to zoom in here for this nonsense. If I can remember the keystroke for that. Okay, so what we have here is your classic. I leave slippage at 3 because I don't know what it means. And this is the size you're going to trade, right? This is your stop. This is your take profit because it almost says it. And this is how long does it last down here. How long does it last? Now, if you want to change the comments on here, I guess I'm going to have to dump out of this zoom thing. I don't know how to run this zoom on here. But if you go down to the, right here, you have the infamous buy limit. And if you place this above current price, it just naturally becomes a buy stop automatically. It's magical. This is what shows up in the comment window. This is what it is described at. And this is whether you want to have an arrow or not. You choose whatever color arrow you want. So that's it. Then there's the sell side. Same story. You should be able to figure that out. It'll say sell here, right? So I just don't get how, after all the videos I did, this guy can't. But it's occurring to me now, in retrospect, as you walk away from the crime scene, and it just clicks in your head all the stuff I heard him say, like he thought chemtrails were real. And I thought, well, he's just a product of the educational system. He's a lost millennial. He's been trounced. His girlfriend's got hold of his dick. Whatever happened to him. So he's just totally. It's what do you expect, right? He should just be cutting lawns. Because you can't. If you can't, you have to take responsibility for your own actions. What are you doing? Like if I showed him how to play guitar and he electrocuted himself, his Marshall amp, I said, you put a power soak in that Marshall and get more gain. There's this thing you can get where you hook it up to the output and you can get, he'd probably spill a beer on it, electrocute himself and say something like, man, I can't believe it. I never even like to really even do business with people I know because this always comes down. Later on, it always comes back to bite you. Well, you said, I'm like, I never said that. Besides, that's what you wanted me to, you wanted that, right? I had this psycho babe. Last psycho babe was with, I was like, really? Well, first wife had a thyroid, so she had a good excuse. She had a thyroid condition. So everything she lied about later on I said, but you're lying. What are you talking? She said, you're talking about? I thought, oh my God, like, where's Rod Serling to step into this scene and bail me out of this shit? So that always happens. And this is why, people that they say trading's a lonely game. Well, it should be. For God's sakes, if you had to trade with somebody like that, could you imagine? Now what are you doing? What are you doing now? Now what are you doing? And then people have asked me that all the time. Like I'm some fucking guru. Dude, all I'm doing is managing risk. All I'm saying is that, yes, you can put your orders in no man's land. Why not? If you don't bet the ranch, I'm not saying, if everything in my videos, imagine you need $3 million, right? I had an account, accounts used to come with $100,000 in them. I don't know if the FXMC's demo came with $100,000. Jesus Christ, right? But Jesus, pulling the button. In other words, the reason why you trade a demo is for your ego, not for money. Are you right or are you wrong? How wrong are you? How right are you? How big did you trade? And you're so right, you're going to trade really big, right? This is what was blowing my mind with this fucknut. You must be real. How come? This is the dumbass question somebody would ask. Well, you're really good at guitar. How come you don't build guitars? Because I'm playing guitar, fuckhead. What in the fuck are people thinking, right? So, but I understand, but I would never. Can you imagine like the lawsuits that people get? Like I told the guy, yeah, even being a shrink, they must get like I guess these priests and stuff can tell people, hey, go home and stop beating your wife and not get sued later on down the road. I guess that's or the police can't. In the old movies, it's like, well, we can't tell because he told his priest he murdered 20 people, but confidential. We can't tell anybody. Or the guy's killed 40 people, but he's going to trial for a murder. They're like, well, we can't take that into account, even though it's the same people. Everybody knows, we can't take that. So they'll bend over backwards to protect people from reality. Well, trading doesn't let you protect yourself from reality, right? You have a stop in there. You're like, holy shit, I think my stop's too tight. Should I move it? Like, I really like this trade. Like, this looks like a good idea. It looks like it's going to retrace. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. Not to mention the fact that the market literally falls in a hole or goes up into a vacuum or it goes some crazy place, then it stalls out. And people are like, what the fuck? Now what do I do? The market just went nuts. And now it's not doing anything. Like, how can anybody adjust to that, right? Well, they can't. So you have to find a clever way to adjust to that. And I'd say it's through your stop placement. So I have a 12 pip stop here. Now, where would I want to buy with a 12 pip stop to make 25 pips? How about 25 pips fucking deep, right? So when it bounces up, it's like cashing out into the floor here, right? If it went down here, this is a Kill Stokes trick, if-then statement. If it goes down here, where do you think it could bounce to? Right there, at the bottom, right? Because if bonds become tops, if it does go down there tonight, in the next 6 hours, whatever time frame you pick. But you're not, trading's an art. It's not a fucking, EA's not going to do artwork for you. Yeah, you can get a router, you can computerize, digitize it, but it's nothing like hand-carved shit that has asymmetry to it, right? It's the hottest chicks in the world. Look at their face. Some of the cutest chicks in the world, I should say. Their teeth are fucking gaps, crooked. Their fucking eyeballs not straight. I'm not kicking them out of bed. They're adorably, organically random. So you want some, and you can always tell when you see the, oh God, they're trying to make these people look like people, but they're too symmetrical. There's no blimp, there's no moles. This chick at the coffee shop took off her moles. I said, well, yeah, I got it, but I kind of like the moles on you a little bit. You're a little skanky. I look a little, put some stank on it, right? It's like, but the pristine world you live in now is like, everything's like, here, swipe this. I got this fucking I'm ready to throw a tablet across the fucking wall. Every time I touch it, motherfucker's like, hey, do you want to update Windows? Do you want to do that? I'm like, no, I don't want to do any of that shit. Give me a Windows XP on a tablet any day of the week. Like, just give me Windows XP back. I don't need anybody helping me. You go in the store. Can I help you, sir? Yeah, I went to an auto store yesterday. What these fucking autos did, they got fucking 8 fucking checkouts. One guy working there, and the other guy who's back there dicking with parts. What the fuck is with him? He's like a Nazi. He's not going to come out. He's not coming out. Soup Nazi, right? He's not coming. Not for you. No, he's like, oh, he's stocking stuff. I'm like, dude, if I own the store and I saw that shit, I'd say, you get the fuck out there. There's a real customer. You're not fucking just filling little goddamn fucking. What the fuck is that shit? Fucking ridiculous, man. But see, big corporate, fat, bloated corporate thing cruising along. Probably the union told him, hey, don't disturb when he's doing dumbass filing in the back room. That's so I go down to Tim Hortons there, and I asked the girl, can I see the manager? And she's like, oh, okay. So she meekly goes back to try to get him. Motherfucker comes out, he's on the phone, just blah, blah, blah. I already knew his name, right? So on the way, she gave me his name. I goes his name, and on the way out, said, bye, George. Guy's a fucking dick. Too busy to talk to a real person. No, I'm on the phone, I'm so, why'd you come out of your office on the phone? I just want to punch the guy. Okay? What the fuck is that shit? But see, now, you couldn't get away with that years ago because there's no cushion. There was no, all this regulation. I just saw Trump come out with his all his regulation, what it takes to build a fucking road. Well, God damn it, that's right. Jesus Christ! And then they finish the road. And it sucks a dick. It sucks a King Kong sized dick. There's this road I talk about in this high-end part of town. Well, these people are richer than fucking rich, right? Richest county in the United States in 1972. You drive down there, the road is falling apart like a motherfucker, but guess what? They got like deer in the island. They got fucking little waterfalls and Zen gardens in the middle of the fucking road. They spend money on that shit. So insanity's everywhere. And that's why, trading is fun because it's insane all day long, guaranteed. Like, you're not counting on it making any sense, I hope. Or being really quick, I can get rich quick. Well, yeah, you could, but you'd have to really cue that up, right? You can get to the moon, but you got to get that rocket on the pad. And then just like a real trade, you're going to have a lot of risk up front, right? It's when you're on the launching pad there, like 80% of the throttle of fuel is getting the fucker off the pad. Sure, once they get in orbit, they're just in nature's stream, okay? You got to get that trade off the ground. Or you got to get your account padded up so you can trade longer and longer time frames, right? So you don't have to fucking sit there like a crack whore and babysit the goddamn chart. You can if you want. But once you realize you can just load up at the end of the day and go for fucking 8 hours in one direction, load up, go 8 hours in the other direction, you can see it on the chart. Can you get your lifestyle around the 4-hour yen? Could you do it? Right? Could you go up for 4 hours and down for 4 hours? Maybe you can. Okay, 8 hours down, and then how many hours up? 20 pips up, 4 hours, 30 pips down. I mean, it's almost like the market's going up and down, right? So, and here it's ranging. Here's a stop, hunt, retrace, stop, hunt, retrace, stop, hunt, bounce, go smash. This is actually 100 pips right here. That's the 100-yard line. Here is support. Gee, I wonder if it's going to get to here. And then here's the void. Here's the void, right? So we fill this one. This is 100 pips. I don't have the 100 pip thing out here. It is in there. It's I have to put it on top. Put it on top of the list here. So yeah, I have all the indicators there. Anybody list all that stuff? I can't seem to get a master file, but I guess I'll just list I'll just get a copy paste the every goddamn thing I've published. And then some guy's saying to me, well, I don't want to go looking through all your shit. Like, really? Okay, so don't. I don't know what to tell people. Oh, that's really, but can you just tell me how to trade? What a classic. I don't know. I would have to tell you how to live first, I guess. I'd have to say, well, if you're gonna day trade, you're gonna be there. You can't be like, well, I gotta go, you missed your entry, right? You missed your trade. If you're trading at the market, you missed your trade. Or if you're babysitting a pattern, you're waiting for a certain pattern to happen. Like I wait for it to get choppy and I get in. Okay, great. Probably a good idea, right? Accumulation or distribution is taking place. You have a 50% chance of being right, maybe, right? Are they trapping people? Is it retesting? What is the most amount of how many pips do you want to make, and how much do you know what a pip's worth dollar-wise? So that's critical info, I think. That's 100 pips right there. And these are 20 pip handles. So this is dead nuts on 109, right? You needed a 30 pip stop on that so you could make 150 fucking pips, okay? Who doesn't want to make 150 pips? Could you have done that trade? A lot of people couldn't have done that trade. You know why? Not enough indicator. I'd have to check my Fibonacci's. Do you really? Could you have bought it 110 for a bounce and not checked you? Could you see a pivot here at 110? Does it almost look like every 100 pips there's a pivot? Does that almost occur to, but now you get the chemtrail kid. Well, what I want to do is I want to make money right now. Okay, so dude, you had to wait 2 days to get paid. You have to wait for an 8-hour move, 8 hours. Okay, can you wait fucking 8 hours to get paid? I don't know, is that a good trade? Otherwise, man, you got to trade so big to make as much as I can make in 8 hours in an 8-hour move, right? I could scalp 50% of my money can come from scalps, right? I can make $100 on a scalp and let the rest ride, right? Scalp it out of the gate, make your first 100, and then just get back in the trade for a smaller amount. If you think, oh, it's really going to go that direction, like this guy's making all these market calls. He's just a genius, right? Well, learn how to trade, learn how to scalp, learn what it looks like, how much effort it takes to buy a standard lot and pull off 6 pips. Do that trade. Let's see you do that trade. 6 pips, right? 10 pips. Can you make 10 pips? Can you make $100 on a standard lot? 10 pips. You're risking $60 to make. I don't think he's done the math on it, to be honest with you. I think he thinks you can just throw shit at the market, right? I don't think he thought that out. And so it's not like it wouldn't work. Like, so he said he made money. Yeah, because he had $400 in the account, so he was able to make, or whatever he had when he started. But like I said, it's almost like 100 pips is a lot of money, a lot of pips. Now here at the 50-yard line, right here's the 50. So we're above the 50 right now. So you'd be up 150. You'd be up $1,500 on a standard lot off the bottom here, risking $300. Right. So that's just math. Not too hard. Thing is, people just aren't. It's just that people really that are thinking well, there's got to be some magic to it. Does it really? I think it's just like realizing that at this time of day, the market's kind of dead. Now, I could go down to the smaller time frame. In fact, on the British pound here, I'm on the 5-minute chart. So I put support and resistance here. This is the supply and demand zones on Wix. So I think we can all see what's going on here. Would you buy? I would buy right now at the market. Okay, I'd buy right now at the market because this is dead in the water. People say, I ain't buying now. I'd like to see some confirmation that there's bulls. I want to see the bulls show their hand. Okay, not me. Now, you don't have to do what I do. So this guy I don't even think he was doing what I was doing. If he did everything I was doing, he would buy one at the market now, and he would put a limit based on his account size here, and maybe he puts a limit here, right? Now, that was a great idea to put a limit here, wasn't it? Sure was, Buster. Damn, there was some good idea you had there. I know. Isn't that nuts how that was just a great trade? And where did you think you had to get out of that? I mean, if you literally thought that this was in time on the clock at a 5-minute chart, there's a double bottom here precisely. There's a double bottom here. So where do we know there's a double bottom? Right here and right here, right? This is like really just in your face, isn't it? And here's the double bottom. So your target had to be here. You had to buy here and sell here with a stop here. What's that ratio? Okay, so it's a little bit, it's like break even, right? Oh, almost made a swastika there. Careful. So, and here is another support level. Go figure, right? And here's another feeding zone. The 5-minute chart, you have to either pull the trigger here or you just keep placing pendings. So I wrote a scalp script here that lasts for 1 hour. And basically this is just this is trading right here. This is, I say anybody wants the guy that's like, well, can you show me I want to see how you trade. This is how it looks. I put the buy drop here. If I put this above current price, it is a buy stop. Okay. It's a buy stop above current, and right here it's a buy limit. Okay, I'm going long. I don't care what the fuck happens. It's almost a hedge entry. If it comes down, it fills the buy limit. If it goes up, it fills the buy. Walk away. It's 2K. Ouch. Oof. Risking $1.20 here. 5 pip stops. We're trying to make $2 with that. Right now, you could make this a big fucking ticket, but why would you do that when you could just go like this, right? Why would you do that when you can just go like this? That's what that trade would have looked like. Okay, there's a script. I'm putting this in a new file for this video. I'll just do a new file for this video. I mean, I don't even know how to make it any simpler, really. If you can't unpack, if you can't load MT4, then there's another clue you shouldn't be trading. With MT4, go trade with NinjaTrader, go trade with something, I don't know, manual. But gosh, man, if I would have known that's the way people are interpreting reality, you know, I would have put out the disclaimer of like, okay, you need an IQ test, right? Something's wrong. Once again, every time you do this, you know you're risking 50 cents, right? You should be able to fill out your trade card, your playbook, right? So, oh, I'm into like $3 now. Oof. So if this goes down, these would be my. I got a 5 pip stop here. Now the thing is not to duplicate. Put one here, okay? I just hand placed that. But he was so lazy. He wanted me to write some ungodly ratio. My God, if this isn't enough orders here, look at all this shit here. I mean, come on. What, are you kidding me? Look at this, 4 hours, 15 pips stop. I'll put it here. If I think it's going to retrace, wouldn't I just put that order here? If I think that it's going to bounce off of here, wouldn't I just put that order down there? It can't be that hard, right? But it is. It's difficult. Very difficult. So that's how you edit the scripts. It's a real brain teaser. Here's the sell drops. Right? I want to sell up here. I want to sell and a stop in case it goes down. What if I'm wrong? I'll put the sell stop in, right? I'll put in the sell stop so I can ride it down. I'll go with the flow. Maybe I'm wrong. You could be wrong, right? This is why you want to trade on the demo. So you can play out your strategies without losing any fucking money blowing up your account. Oh, I don't want to do that, man. You don't understand, see? I got a strategy you don't even know. I know. You write a hit song. You just need a stage and a guitar, and you need background singers. I'm with you. I'm with you so far. You're just so far ahead of me. I couldn't even have imagined. But let's be realistic, man. You know, sure, you can set up a lemonade stand, but I don't think you make enough money to pay every month. Besides, that's under regulation now, anyways, right? So you're just everywhere you turn, there's some fuckhead who lobbied for. I remember when they came out with this rule. It's so funny. I had a propane tank. And they came out with a rule that you couldn't take the propane tank unless you had this cute little plastic insert in there. Almost like you can't have a house that has outlets open. I'm surprised the government doesn't come in and say, you know, you have to have covers in case your kid licks his hand. And I'm like, Jesus, this is what I'm counting on that. Are you kidding? Is this Darwin filters in the house? All those open lines on the fuse box? I'm like, if my kid doesn't understand what a fuse box is by the age of 5 and electrocutes himself, well... saving me a lot of money, saved me a lot of drama, okay? And I hate to sound like that comedian, what's his name, but this, you know, this, like, come on. Let's thin the herd, people. They're just watching Alex Epstein defend capitalism, and the funniest thing is when he says, the stuff he says is just too funny, you know? It's just such an abrupt thing to the liberal mind, right? So I just imagine... but the trader's a liberal. It's really not a good place for liberals trading. I don't know. I mean, the mindset, right? You need a safe space to trade in. But, you know, when people pick apart all of the fallacies, it's so fascinating to hear how they just say, well, you know, but that's not really true. That's you're projecting your fears on top of the market. You're seeing what you want to see. You think it's going up? You'll make every argument for it going up. You see it's going down, make every argument, try to bend reality. Or you could let the market prove you right. Put your orders in and let it go. But would you really want to do that? Would you really want to practice being wrong with real money? That's a pricey way to go. So I always trade demo in the videos, and I trade real money, I trade demos, I trade both, right? I trade both because sometimes I'm looking at the demo and I know I'm in the trade. I know I'm in trade with real money, but I'm watching the demo. Okay. I watch the price. Okay. I tell myself it's got to stay above this. And then I walk away. And when I come back to the screen and I see the price, I'm not looking at the chart. Like I'm not chart. Like I'm just thinking price because I know where I'm at and I know where my account should be when the price gets to X because I know it's going to, how many, every 10 pips, it's going to be $100, right? So if I see it's up 5 pips, I'm like, oh, I'm up 50. Now, depending what time of day it is, and I think, you know what, the ride's over. Here comes the sellers. Get the fuck out of the way. Let the sellers through. Just like here, the British pound can keep tanking. So I'll put some sells in, right? Now, here's where you build a hedge. Before things get all fucking out of control, you build the hedge right now. You put a sell stop, put a sell stop, you put a buy stop. Now, hopefully, you put the same time frames and the same. If you do symmetrical hedge, I put buy stops. I put buy stops. Now, this works, especially in Asia, very well. Sell stops. Okay, you bracket the market. I'm not even filled on anything yet. Here's all my pendings. I'm not filled on nothing. Okay. Not filled yet. Could you trade like this? Is this too much work for you? Now, when I zoom out here, look at where we are in the landscape of everything. In the land of confusion, look where we're at. So I drew those lines on logic and reason. Don't forget that. Chemtrails aren't real, people. Right? The Earth's not flat. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So now if I zoom out, you're like, oh, geez, look at all those. Okay, geez, wow. Woof. Then you get to here, you're like, holy shit. Now let's go to another time frame, 15-minute chart. Wow, that's a different story. 15-minute chart. Do you want to be a buyer here? Hell yeah, son. Like I said, now this is the double bottom. So I'm buying here. I have the sells in case I'm wrong. So you want to put a parachute in there? This is where you build a hedge right now. You can't build a hedge when it's going against you. It's not going to, too late. The other thing is my targets here have to be realistic. Where's kind of my target going to have to be? Where did the bottom drop out? Way up here. First bottom drop out. Where's the last bottom to drop out of this market on the 15-minute chart? Right there. It's very simple. This you can't see with candles. I can't. I have candle blindness. Like it's like being colorblind. I can't see candles. I can't see the price. I can just see like candles. So it's always been disturbing to me. I wanted so much to be a candlestick trader, and I almost went to candlestick school. They should have that. Can I buy the candlestick price action trading? Oh, like price action. How about just price? I trade price. You don't trade price action? Nah, not really. Like, I wait for the prices to move around. Like when I go to the store, I'm not watching the Walmart prices and sitting in the store waiting for the prices to fluctuate and then going, okay, I'm going to go cash register now. No, I show up like every week to buy something I really need. Or I don't really clip coupons or anything like that. Now, that would be if you were really trying to, like, if you were a trader in life. My sister clips coupons, you know. She's got a coupon book. I mean, this is like you having a trade book, which is mind-blowing that would somebody have a coupon book. Like, you're really fucking serious. Like, step back, Jack. Baby's got a coupon book. I'm surprised she doesn't have, like, a fucking... like it's done by day of the week, right? Or it's got an hour. There's a red file. Well, that's when they're having that 3 p.m. sale and I go down there and the whole market's scalping, right? So that's that entry. But so here I'd say this is an obvious buy, right? Just for a pop in the next half hour. It goes up like 5 pips. It's not a big trade. But I put my balls on top of the pullback here, right? You got the small cap. Now look at this, the landscape of everything. Let's go to the half hour and like, wow. You know, the half hour is like still kind of legible. But just keeping the scale here, since we're only trying to make 10 pips, we go to the 1 hour, zoom out. Look at that. What the hell's this stuff back here? Like, look at these prices. And so here's the retest on the pound. It almost looks like a retest on the yen. It's almost like these markets retest. Look at this retest down here. Explain this spike to me. Right on closing prices, right around here. It just happens to be a good low price. Oh, and the British pound is just under so much pressure. It fell in a hole. So I made this call. The guy that's, oh, you made this call? Yeah, this pound's going down. It's going to go in that hole. That's what I said yesterday before the end of trade. And then I said, same thing's going to happen to the euro dollar. It's going to go through a hole. Okay? It went and it fell down, right? It went down into this hole. So as far as making margin calls, yeah, there you go. Gee, who can figure that out, right? It's going to go in here and trap these people. And there's a 20 pip grid, so you have, you see where you buy is right here. You buy in the supply zone, which is the wicks, right? So your buy limits are sitting in that capture zone, and you're up on that trade. You're up 60 pips right now, or 40 pips. Painfully obvious, I should hope. And here it looks like it's going to fill more vacuum now, even. Right? Come up into here. You get a little pop up into there. Very likely. And that's trading. Now, like I said, if you bought a standard lot down here, you're up $400. Boom. $400, good trade. 1 hour chart. Okay. And of course, here it's all choppy. You probably wanted to get out of this trade. To maximize your price over time exposure to the market, you wanted to be out of the trade right here. Did you want to sit around? So let me say, let's imagine you bought here on new lows, right? Your first buy limit comes in here in a 30 pip window. These are 20 pip handles. So you cash out of half your position by this wick, right? Because we know this wick is another support area. And then we take the whole thing off here. Do you want to stick around for this possible drift up? Well, maybe you do. Maybe you load it here and you're going to get out here, or you're going to get out here, but you can see all the 20 pip exits. Right here. This is 20 pips. Look at how that thing respects 20 pips. Yeah, isn't it funny? I bet if you put 13.5 pip grid up, it would be the same 12.5 pip grid, right? The same kind of magic would happen. Oh, look at. Hey, honey, look at that. Really does work. Hey, that trading stuff, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's how I got you all that shit you don't need. Trading, right? That's how I bought you all that shit you don't need. So, aren't these liberals, shouldn't they just be feeding the poor and living in huts? I don't get the limousine liberals. What the fuck is wrong with these people? These cunts working for the news company that make all this bling. They spend like 10 grand a month on their apartment in Manhattan, but why aren't they living in a fucking sack and giving their money to the poor? Now that's hypocrisy. So that's truly out of your fucking mind, right? At least John Lennon slept in bed for a while, right? Took a big with his wife with the really stunning voice. He just went to chill mode. He was the first guy to chill, actually. He owned that chill thing. Especially when he did those songs that were so lazy, with just kicking back and just playing his sitar. He's a hero, I remember when he died. It was actually a sad thing. I remember the exact place. I was at this party with all these rock and rollers, and when he died, everybody's kind of like, wow, that's really, nobody saw that coming. So that was like really a stunning thing. When John Lennon died, now people die all the time. I mean, the amount of famous people after that, George Michael, all these people that just gone, gobbled up. Okay, so another boring session here. Here comes a critical time, the bottom of the hour. And coming in Asia now. So let's see what happens here, because they push that up. Are you a genius for holding on down here? This is the trap trade, the best trade, the retracement. Is that the trade you want to focus on? You can do both, right? I can trade the breakout, so I can put buy stops here, right? And I could do the same thing here. Now, this is a strategy. So this kid was talking about his strategy. There's really only three strategies I can think of is trade at the market, trade on a stop, trade on a limit. So if I trade on a stop, it's going to look like this. If I trade a hedge breakout, it's going to look like this, right? I get these guys stacked up down here, and I put an equal amount, hopefully the same targets on the top side. Stack these puppies up. Never pull the trigger at the market. I'm in something right now. I don't know how I got in. So I could stack these puppies up. Never have to choose. Never have to be a decider, right? And actually, there are no buy limits down here. So if it does kick back, it's going to trap down there. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with blowing up your account? I told this kid, I mean, I can't even tell you how much time I spent chatting with this motherfucker. I said, listen, if you don't put a stop in your account, it's a stop. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? He was not okay. Like when somebody whines about, well, I did what you said and, I blew up my account. Like, did you blow up your account before that? Before you met me, you were blowing up accounts. So how am I responsible now? I did not give any trade recommendation. I don't even have fucking site, dude. I don't go signal service shit. That's a cruel fucking hoax. People that do signal services, really, that's unethical. Honestly, that's totally, I mean, forget empowered trading milking you for fucking $4,000 to hold your hand on how to place an order in the market. If you need that, like your broker will give you that fuck. You could probably go to some, you could probably actually, the broker would tell you how to place a trade. They have a 2-minute video showing you how to trade, right? They want you to trade, so they're going to show you how to place a fucking order. You write shit in the internet like how to place an order. What is forex? Now, of course, you're going to get led down some clickbait trail with a bunch of gay dudes selling you, it looks like they're trying to sell Ferraris. I watched this one guy, some big, mafioso hip hop trader that's gonna buy his mom a Rolls Royce. Oi, get his mom a fucking exercise bike. She waddles out to this fucking Rolls, and I'm like, is she gonna make it? Is she gonna make it to the car, or is he gonna be? Is this bruiser gonna have to? This guy that made so much money trading forex, and what was he in some giant swing trade? Like, how did he even? I get it if he loaded up, like he loaded up 40 standard lots on the collapse of a currency that dropped 300 pips, and he never took another trade. And he's like, dude, I just made like $40 million. I think I'm just going to stop trading and just do dumb as shit videos and do iMarkets live. But did he really is he just renting this thing? Everything is so fucking fake, and goddamn, who can trust anything they see anymore? This is why we need to the only reason vintage gear is even any fun is because you can't fake it. I just watched some line drawings. I watched people do artwork where they actually, it's called scratchboard, and you take a whiteboard and underneath it's black, so you scratch. And this guy was so good, and I was always afraid to use scratchboard because I don't have the technique down. I don't have the stroke down. I could not. I'd wipe out so many. It's very expensive, scratchboard. It's like $5 a hit. So you got to have it together, right? You got to practice on something. This is where it comes in, right? For you to trade effectively, it's just like artwork. How good are you at fucking hitting that market order key? Boom, boom. You got a rhythm. I just built a fucking 20K. Just made $100. Can you do that? This fucknut that refuses to trade a demo, he'll never be able to do that. How can he afford to just go and get to the point where trading is effortless and a professional would never think about fucking whatever, they just hit the buttons. But he wants to be a professional trader. But he doesn't want to do what a professional trader does, and that's fucking trade. So the more I think about it, the more pissed I get. And I think that's just so fucking stupid. That you would waste real money, but because I think I figured it out. He thinks that he's been taught that being a victim is almost like a moral imperative. You're not a real person. You're unethical if you're independent. Besides, you're selfish. When I read, Ayn Rand has a book called The Virtual Selfishness. So I'm reading it and I'm getting goosebumps. You know why? Because my whole life, I was raised by liberals. I was raised by sacrificial, like if you sacrifice, you're moral, right? Because you sacrificed. And this is probably from a religious indoctrination, right? And, or maybe Mayans holding the heart up that's still pulsing because they want to honor the gods, you know. So how can that not spill in and be just a legacy in people's head all fucked up, and then it gets repackaged to fit modern stuff, and then you're wondering, why are people just so illogical and so emotional and so victim, you know, kind of like this is the leverage they get on people. So, well, but you were going to do this for me and you were going to do that for me. And so it's the reason why I can't get ahead is because of all these obstacles. Oh my God. Really? So I was watching Alex Epstein. He's the fossil fuel guy. He's a moral argument for fossil fuels. And he's arguing with these liberals and stuff. And he's telling them, listen, you don't understand, man. Back in the old days, and these kids are like, fuck the olden days. He's talking about child labor laws. Well, people only lived to be 30, so if your kid was like 10 and people didn't have money back then, people were poor. Everybody's rich now. Everybody's rich. But they want to be richer. I want to have a Ferrari. I want to have this dude. Why? There was a really rich guy who, the first really rich guy that was famous, I can't remember his name. And he said, why would I buy my own plane? First he bought a plane because he goes, I want to own my own plane. He goes, but dude, I did the math and it's better to lease it. But the word that you own something, this may become from owning a slave or owning gear or owning property or whatever the ownership. But the Buddhists would tell you, you don't own shit. You don't own shit. You're here, you just exist, right? And then you're dead. Like, you're not going to cash in on yourself, are you? Like the gold stackers. I'm like, really? You could have bought like canvas and just painted and just found all the relief and artwork, right? You don't paint to make a painting necessarily. You paint because it's a meditation. Do you trade for money or trade because it's a meditation? Do you like trading? Do you like placing orders? Do you like not knowing what's going to happen? Do you like losing? Now, a lot of that checklist, I had a checklist here that was like all the attributes that people put into, I guess I don't have it here, but I put like the old column shit. I've heard this column shit before. Well, on one side of the column, and I was always told to do that exercise, but I resented anybody telling me what to do, so I didn't do it. So that, I had a list of, fuck. Anyways, it's in my head. On one column you have fear, the other column you have safety. So the things that you would consider to be, as far as trading too, trade at the market. What part of that your brain does it fulfill? And so what part of, because you need fulfillment and you need to express yourself, so you have to somehow find a way to get those things to be okay to do, right? Congruent. And that was what they taught me when I went to Van Tharp's symposium, whatever conference. It was about congruency and having this where you're not in conflict. Mark Douglas talks about where you're not, like what you're doing is not in conflict with what your goal is. And this is why people would keep a journal or film themselves or record your trading, right? Like, I don't understand why this goober that's telling me that I blew up his account, why doesn't he go to Screen-O-Matic and buy a fucking screen recorder and record your trades in low frame res so you can play back and see all the dumb shit you did, right? But that would be like a video journal. People really probably not going to do that. But see, when I play guitar, I did that all the time. I recorded my own guitar tracks, and what I do is I record them, I play them back. I go, it sounds like shit. Tweak it a little bit. Put on headphones, do it live. Put on headphones, see how much reverb I've got. See if I have phase cancellation issues, whatever you need to do, right? Wouldn't you do this? Wouldn't you take the same care in any other production in life? You know, you got a fresh piece of paper. Are you writing on some piece of paper that's got like beer spilled on it? But that's what this guy was actually. To come in the chat room in the morning and be like, "I'm drinking a pina colada." I'm like, I don't know. You can't you go to the Facebook and just post your pina colada? Like, this is kind of almost a real trading room we're in. Like, we have people that are really trading, and so, and if they're not really trading, they want to trade, right? They want to. We exchange all our scripts and we have script writers and stuff and code writers. So but it's pretty tame, right? And we realize that trading's more than just a signal service. Like, you couldn't live off a signal service, even if they were right 100% of the time. Because how are you going to make enough money on that one signal? Did you load the wagon on that one signal? Really, what is that about? How does that even work into your life? Like, it's like, hey, this chick, you got to meet this chick. I can't tell it twice in my life. I mean, not that the chicks weren't hot. You got to meet this chick, and then you meet her, and then you end up in a relationship, and you're like, oh, God, I should have really scanned. I should have got like a relationship scanner, like a Gartley scanner, like a harmonic scanner, and found a better match. And maybe that's why people are trading with the harmonic scanner by Markets Live, because they wish they had a relationship scanner. I guess that's what Match.com is supposed to be. You fill out your checklist of like, I like motorcycles, I like to eat grease, like whatever your checklist is. And some chick's gonna think, well, he's just another asshole dude. Like, well, you have to have a gay checklist, right? You have to have, well, I like to smell flowers. I don't get the flower thing either. I'll never forget how disappointed I was when I bought roses for my girlfriend and I smelled them and I'm like, maybe I'm smoking too many Cool Milds because I don't smell anything. And these cost like $1 a piece, and they're like, oh man. So these girls would come up and smell the roses or the flowers. And I'm like, you smell something there? Like, I could, if you cracked a beer, I'd smell that. I'd be like, I smell beer. But I don't know about these flowers, man. And then it's so cliche. That's still going on for some reason. I even asked my mom, what do you want for? I always get her a plant because these flowers die. So I'd get her a beanstalk. I would just get her like a money tree, right? You ever seen the money tree? You just get somebody the money tree, right? Then it kind of cures their greediness to force a trade. So you could also force a trade. There's all sorts of mistakes you can make. But you would find out at some point you're frustrated because the frustration comes from the fact the market's moving and then it's not. And then all of a sudden it's moving and you're like, what the fuck? But you've got to take that. If you see the market's going sideways, there's a trade plan for that. I'd say it's a hedge breakout, or it's just get the fuck in with a tight stop. So the guy was asking me, well, I don't understand this ATR thing. I'm like, well, look at it this way. What's this market been doing for the past 4 fucking hours? Going sideways in a 10 pip zone. I'd call that low range. Okay, that's a low. But then people are like, well, there must be some formula. I'm like, could you be more specific? No. Why? Why would you need to be more specific? I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir for the people who are like, yeah, duh. But do you really need to know, does your eye attracted to small, can your eye be attracted to small bars? Ooh, there's one. Ooh, looky. These are kind of small. Oh, so yes, there was this trader. Well, what happens though? Like these poor Chinese people at the DMV, they're waiting for that. They're waiting for them to call out the exact number with the letter included in front of it, right? And if they don't hear that, they're like, oh, there's no, it's not for us then. So if you can see the small bars, right? Big bar, no trade. Big bar, no trade. Like caveman trading. Ooh, big bar, no trade. Like certainly there could be like, right? That's the drunk from the Repair Guy show. So that's another thing to consider, right? And what are you up for? Can you get to your platform now, or are you fucking the wife, right? Are you go out buying her shoes? Same thing, right? She's fucking you in that one, right? Buy me some shoes, and then maybe later on, Okay, well later on I'll be getting into this trade. See honey, this 4 hour breakout? Like as soon as I get in here, I'm just gonna hold and then I'm just gonna ride through this big vacuum. And then I'll just gingerly get in with some limits to go the other way. So you'll be so you're gonna be like bi-directional, honey? Yeah, that's right. I'm bi-directional trader. Ooh. We have to wait for that pattern now.